Welcome back to A&K Unhampered. I'm Alicia.
I'm Katie.
And we're crazy.
Pretty much.
We're crazy for Reddit stories. We're crazy in general. We have big mouth opinions.
We really do.
We do. We've been having a lot of fun.
It was really so much fun. I mean, we did this anyway. Now we're just putting it in video.
Yeah.
Or audio.
We're working on video. We really are. We have a very large learning curve, and we'll get there. We really will. But just be patient with us. We're trying.
You're the techie one. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, honey, if I'm tech support, we are in trouble.
Well, you are.
We are in a lot of trouble. Okay, so today's stories really all kind of geared toward more relationship issues, except for the one I saved for last, which is some glorious petty revenge.
Oh, I love petty revenge.
We love petty revenge. I need to do an episode on petty revenge.
Sometimes, depending on the story, it really makes me feel good.
Today's stories, really, some of them I'm just kind of sitting here and like, what are you thinking? But I do that a lot. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm not super judgy, but I like to give my opinion.
Oh, I am super judgy.
I'm pretty understanding.
I understand, but I judge.
You're harsh.
I am.
Not really.
But I have earned the right to be harsh. I really have.
Our moral compass seems to be straight, so.
Yeah, it's just sometimes instead of pointing due north, it's a little bit northwest, northeast, you know. A little bit left of true north. So our first story, we're just going to jump right on into. It says, it's from the subreddit AITAH, per usual.
We like those.
It says, am I the asshole for leaving my date after he told me he background checked me?
Yeah. Context,
Just
I guess, but
just a prejudgment here.
no.
Yes,
Or yes.
a prejudgment here. We background check our dates.
Yeah. And it has literally saved us.
More than once. So I'm kind of leaning towards she might be the asshole, but I will reserve full judgment until we've read this story. It says, I, 26 female, recently went on a first date with a guy I'll call James, 30 male. We met on a dating app, and everything leading up to the date seemed great. He was charming, asked thoughtful questions, and seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me. He suggested we meet for dinner at a restaurant he loves, so I agreed. When I got there, James was already seated and greeted me warmly. Things were going well at first, small talk, laughs, the usual first date stuff, and about halfway through the appetizers, James said something that was a little shocking. He said, just so you know, I already ran a background check on you. I thought he was joking, so I laughed, but he kept going. He explained that he always does this before meeting someone new to ensure they're safe and trustworthy. I was completely floored. I asked why he didn't just trust me like a normal person. And he said, well, you can't be too careful these days. Don't worry, you passed.
I mean,
Hey, well, at least there's that.
I've never led with that, but go ahead.
Right? I told him it made me really uncomfortable that he'd done all that without my knowledge. He tried to justify it, saying it was for his own peace of mind and that it was no big deal because everyone has skeletons in their closet. At that point, I'd lost my appetite. I told him I didn't think we were a good match and left. Later, he texted me saying I was being dramatic and that I should have been grateful he took the time to background check me because it showed how serious he was. I can't help but wonder if I'm having a string of bad luck with guys, or am I just overreacting? Am I the asshole? Oh,
Sorry.
She says, I almost forgot to mention, he told me that he looked at my social medias and even did a little Googling. That is hardly a comprehensive background check.
Oh, no, I look at court systems.
I mean, we're pulling court records. We go,
Yeah.
the FBI would be consulting with us if they wanted to know about somebody we were considering going on a date with. Like,
Yeah. Like,
we're
no.
going to sit down and NASA level inspect this.
Yeah. And I'm not above paying for it. It's
He
on low.
just did a little bit of Googling and surfing through her social media.
Mhm.
I mean, come on.
So 1, yes, she is the asshole.
Mm.
2, I don't think it was necessary that he said you should be grateful, because I don't think that, yes, she's the asshole.
I mean, yeah, she's the asshole. She freaked out over something that women do every day, but the second a guy does it, she trips balls.
Honestly, if a guy told me that, I'd laugh and say, I did you too. So
It's like we should already be besties because I did the same thing to you, boo-boo.
I would have given him a handshake on that one. Like, I do not think that's a bad thing.
No.
I think it is perfectly healthy, fine, whether you do or don't. But there are some instances, like us specifically, that we feel the need to, I guess, kind of, I don't know if that's the right way to say it,
I don't
feel
think
safer.
I don't think it's necessarily specific to us. I think it's,
No,
just the times that we live in.
yeah.
Social media, it's a great thing. Social media is a wonderful thing. I mean, look what we're doing. This is all social media. It's people interacting with complete and utter strangers. And that's just the thing.
People are not generally, most of the time, in my experience in the last 2 years, as you know, they are not upfront and honest about things.
No.
They are not.
I mean, how many did we catch that were messaging you on the dating apps? 2 or 3 of them, at least, we caught them for being married.
And several I caught on the registries, and they were asking about my child. And one had violence records that were pretty disturbing for me.
Pertinent information that you would want to know about someone before you went to a location with them to spend one-on-one time. Or especially, in the regards of the couple that we found that are on the registry for violent crimes against children, want to come into your home and meet your child.
And I don't really want to wear orange, but I will if I have to when it comes to kids.
Oh, honey, you have patience for a gang of children. I got you, boo. But again, we don't condone violence. But if you see something, if I happen upon an instance of someone hurting a kid, if you saw something, no, you didn't. And moving along.
We fit that Southern woman standard, I think. But no, I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. People are not upfront and honest, and it could be something like that, and you want to know ahead of time. And several of the guys I talked to more than enough time for them to be upfront if it was like a false accusation, or if they had their own story they wanted to, they never brought
But they
up.
never even brought up the charge in the first place. It's like you
or the wife and kids.
Even just going through someone's social media profile, that is not the complete image of someone's life. That is the happy, smiling, well-edited, cropped photo that they put out to make themselves look good to the outside world. That is not what's actually going on. That is not who that person actually is. And the part that really kills me is the complete double standard this woman just showed. Yes. I will die on this hill. If it is okay for us to do a complete FBI, CIA level, who is you? I want to know your mama, your daddy, your criminal record, your entirety before I go on a date with you. Why is it a bad thing for a guy to want to do the same thing? It is an absolute double standard. So yeah, OP is absolutely the asshole.
Yes, and I think
I hate double standards.
I think he's totally in his right. And honestly, you can't find everything out from social media alone.
Absolutely not.
You cannot. You may find things that put you off, or that you're like, okay, they're not for me, but you're not always going to find stuff on there.
No, but those criminal background checks, I'm never telling.
Yes, they are. They are.
So let's jump into the comments. It says, interesting how women are often encouraged to run background checks on their dates for the exact reasons he did. But a guy does it on a woman and he's a creep. You're the asshole.
Amen.
And that is exactly what I was saying. Good comment.
Great comment. I thought that.
Yes, OP was being dramatic. And in this new world we live in, no one is safe. Amen. Say it louder for the people in the back. That said, women do background checks because of the risk involved for them of SA. Not saying it doesn't happen to men, but statistically, women are at a higher risk to be SA'd on a first date than a man is. And honestly, yes. I mean, but it's, again, not just about that, but that is a big playing factor.
That is one factor. There are a lot of factors. Men are abused just as much as, well, no, maybe not just as much, but they are abused too.
Honestly, I believe that men probably are abused just as much, but that whole raising that they get of suck it up, you're a man,
That they've been taught in the social.
that is the toxic part of masculinity. The bury it, you're a man. That doesn't happen to you. You're a man. And those things can and absolutely do happen to them.
And you can have feelings about it.
Yes, you're allowed to have feelings if you have a penis. Imagine that.
Right?
Oh my God.
I've always been a big advocate for that.
I never understood that. OP comes back and OP comments, I haven't come across many instances of women or men conducting background checks, and I must admit it feels a bit unsettling to me.
Well, I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Because people don't generally tell them about that, especially on the first date.
Yeah, I mean, we don't generally admit to it. It's just kind of one of those unspoken facts.
Yeah. We do it and we get what we need from it, and we either follow through or don't, but we don't tell them that we did that.
This comment states, it's not weird to make sure your date doesn't have a wild criminal history. Most people who say they did a background check mean they did a cursory internet search. Heck, I think all the women I know do that, and no one bats an eye.
Exactly.
So you're annoyed that he's cautious. Sure, whatever. Funny that women are often advised to do exactly this, though.
Yeah. I think he was smart, and I think he was appropriate with how he told her. I don't think he needed to tell her. But if that's something he wanted to tell her, to get that out for this instance, probably, I think he did right by it. I don't think he did wrong.
So we have another comment that says, if you're that paranoid, don't date. Background checking someone you're getting serious with makes sense. Background checking someone you're having the first dinner with in a public place and then telling them is fucking weird.
And
Yeah, I mean, the telling was weird. Like, why did you feel the need to bring it up, especially if she passed?
Yes.
Now, if you found some crazy shit, be like, hey, I was, kind of just doing a peruse of your social media and this popped up.
Maybe ask about it if you want more details or something.
Do you want to talk about this? This seems a little strange to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so something like that, maybe you would tell them, but just kind of popping on out with it, like, yeah, I did a background check. By the way, you passed. That's kind of weird.
That was a little weird, but like I said, not everybody sees things the same. I don't think it's bad that he did it, and if you really felt the need to tell her, okay. Not everybody's going to react like that.
I mean, was the date going weird? Was it, like, super awkward? And he's like, maybe she's sitting there thinking, okay, this guy seems weird. He's like, look, I did a little background. You passed. We're good,
She said it was going good, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange.
I don't think that's a reason to get up and walk out, though, and be mad about it.
I honestly think that might be the first one maybe the second one we've come across where OP was the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, so let's move on to the next story. So this story is, am I the asshole for ending the relationship with my female 29 boyfriend, 41 male?
What? Big
gap.
Big age gap.
Says, am I, female 29, overreacting, or is my boyfriend, male 41, not behaving appropriately? Well, says, we've been in a relationship for a little over a year. I feel so bad about this relationship and ignored, and I feel that I deserve more. My boyfriend always has my location, but I can't have his. Nope, red flag.
Yep.
He has access to my bank account. Fuck no.
I'm done.
My cell phone. Nope. He deletes my Instagram male friends. He deletes even my family members if they are male. He never lets me go out alone, and if I go out alone, he shows up in places because he has my location.
No. Dangerous situation. Leave now.
OP, it sounds like you have hooked up with my ex-husband, and I advise you, in all seriousness, to run for the hills. Now, back to the story. Besides, he lost his job about 6 to 7 months ago. I swear to God, this woman is dating my ex.
Might be. almost the same age, too.
Very close. Besides, he lost his job 6 to 7 months ago and has turned down jobs because they pay too little, but he doesn't have a career. He moved in with me since I recently bought a house, and every time he gets upset, he picks up everything and leaves.
Change the locks.
Call the locksmith.
Yes. No, this is a dangerous situation.
no.
This is not okay and not safe.
OP, baby, no.
No.
I don't feel validated or loved. He's always in a bad mood and barely speaks, even less when around my family. Oh shit, I'm getting mad. My southern done leaked out.
It did. Twang.
The twang is leaking out. That's not good. That's not good at all. When he met me, he said he wanted a Hispanic girl because of different mindset. I'm Hispanic, and now he says he didn't talk too much to my family because of the language barrier. However, his parents only speak Spanish. He gave up his apartment to move in with me. Before, he was living with his brother. However, it kind of bothers me because honestly, all he does is lay down, be possessive, jealous. He gets upset about everything. When I met him, he was making $100K, but that lasted a couple of months because he lost his job. Everybody got laid off at his company. At least this one wasn't his fault. He was working with his brother, and his brother found a job, but not him, because he has a criminal record, and according to him, he can't find a job due to that. He also is on probation because of issues with his baby mother. OP, wherever you picked up my ex, put him right back where you found him. I'm a lawyer. I work 6 to 7 days a week. Good for you, boo. While he is lying down. I also have to cook for him, wash for him, and if I do something to eat for me due to lack of time and not for him, he gets upset. He asks why he doesn't have clean clothes and what am I making for dinner. I'm having whiplash flashbacks. Saturdays are the worst. Saturday was the worst. My mother came to visit. We went out with some relatives of mine and some co-workers of one of my aunts. I told him where I was going and with who. He was supposedly at his mom's house. A few hours later, he showed up where I was, and there was a guy sitting next to me, my aunt's friend, and he made a complete scene at the place where we were having dinner, yelled at the guy, "Who are you and why are you leaning toward my fiance?" And in front of my mom started to yell at me and ended up arguing with my mom because she was defending me. My mom lives abroad and came to visit. Completely embarrassing. I don't think I can take it anymore because of what happened that day. My mother doesn't want to have anything to do with him, and especially because he doesn't work, and they think he's taking advantage of me. He absolutely is.
Definitely.
I'm concerned about the long-term relationship with him. He was married for 7 years, has 2 children, and his ex-wife just left with their children 4 years ago and moved to another state. Cut off contact with him and the children. He has had to fight custody, had custody of his children taken away, has never paid child support since the wife left, and has just now had an order put in place and is paying very little, which, by the way, I had to pay because he's not working. I don't think he even likes me so much as all he says is, "You've gained weight. If you gain so much weight, I'm not going to like you." Then why is he so jealous? His parents love me and are actually nice, but they're pressuring me to get pregnant with him. I know I am not perfect, but I feel something is off.
No, no, no. Do not get pregnant.
No.
Do not.
Run. No.
Oh my God.
No breeding. No breeding.
So sometimes my first reaction is not very polite.
Let her rip.
She's a fucking lawyer? Are you kidding me? And she doesn't see how awful this is.
Forest for the trees. Forest for the trees.
It's blatant abuse. It is blatant toxic. There's no question, like, should I leave? Its question is, what the fuck am I doing here?
It's not should you. It's do you need help packing?
Give me a call. I'll drive 2 states. Let's do this. I don't have a problem handling a sofa-ridden narcissist again. Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. They run away when they're confronted most of the time.
Yeah, when they actually have somebody stand up to them,
they're big, large bullies, but like most elementary school bullies, when you fight back, they cry and run to their mommies.
I don't care how awesome his parents are. I don't care. Not worth it.
No. Him showing up at the restaurant, he tracks her location anyway, but he didn't have to. She told him, I am going with my mom and my aunts and some of her coworkers and some of my family to this restaurant to have a nice dinner. And he shows up and shows up and shows out and shows his ass in the middle of that restaurant. Public humiliation.
Been there too.
And I'm sorry, you have got to have balls of steel to jump up in front of a Latina mama.
That's another thing. That's another thing. She's Latina. I have never once heard of a Latina that would put up with this. Where's the chancla?
Damn straight. Call your mama. Call your auntie. Call all the sister, other cousins, everybody. Get them sandals out. He will run for the hills and then change the locks on your house. OP, baby, no. Get out of here, please. We have been here. We have lived this. Take it from us. You are a lawyer. You have got your shit together. Do not let that man rip it apart, because if you continue on with him, he will.
Your entire life will fall apart.
He will get jealous of you working. He will be angry that you are at your job. And then it'll be, are you screwing around with your coworkers? Well, why are you going to this meeting? Why can't you skip this meeting? Why did you have to work late 5 minutes? No, baby.
And he's going to start calling the work and making scenes and possibly get you to lose your job.
Professional etiquette is so critically important in that field of work.
Yeah.
She could lose her job for him doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thank God there's a receptionist between her and phone calls.
Maybe, depending on the situation.
Depending on the size of the firm she works at and all of that. But, oh my God. I swear to God, she found a Hispanic version of my ex. So, yeah, no, just this poor woman.
She needs to get out and never look back. And do not pay his child support for him.
No, and it is messed up that she's paying the child support because she's not legally obligated to. Like I said, that I ended up having to pay my ex's child support because the joys of being legally married on paper, if they owe child support and you file your taxes, even if you file married but separate, they can still take your part of the money to cover the money that they owe without filling out special forms and shit. And it takes months to process, and it's because then they got to reverse it out of their account. And you know that these how tax returns are. Everybody takes their money and goes whoop whoop, and it's gone.
Yep, pretty much.
So no, OP, get the fuck out of there for your sake, and
do not
breed with that man.
No, do not produce. No.
That's probably why his parents want her to have a baby so bad, is so she stays to take care of him and they don't have to take him back in.
Yeah, possibly.
I guarantee it. They know what they created.
I don't necessarily agree with that statement.
Most people like that, you can look back on. Not all.
That's what I'm saying. Not all.
People like that, you can look at the way their parents behave and you can make some very, very, very educated deductions.
Well, that's like bullies. It usually comes from the home. But my own experience, it doesn't always matter. Now, I want to say it's on the lower end. You can do everything. I'm going to say everything right, but nobody does everything right.
To the best of your abilities.
And they could still be an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Some people are just born that way. Moving along to the next story. Again, from AIT. Oh, no, this one is from AITH.
Okay.
A little bit different. Throw me around here. Not cool. It says, am I the asshole for leaving my wife?
Okay.
It's all about the context.
It's all about the context.
It says, I, 42 male, have been married to my wife, 42 female, for 8 years. We have our normal ups and downs, but we usually get along fine. She has 2 kids from a previous marriage that I love and raised as my own. About 2 years ago, she told me she got an STI and claimed to have gotten it from the toilet seat at work. Oh, no.
Highly unlikely, but okay.
Oh, the old toilet seat truck stop defense. No. I knew it wasn't possibly from me because we had not had intercourse in several months, and I was cleared when I went to get tested. I still do not believe that's how she got it, mostly because around the same time I had seen some very suspicious text messages pop up to her from a guy that I don't know. I also asked my doctor how likely it was to get an STI from the toilet seat, and he told me that while it is possible, it is very unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to take some time away from the relationship and moved in with a friend for a couple of weeks. After that, me and her tried to work things out, but this still bothers me. I think my biggest problem is that when that when we go up to 6 months without intercourse because she just isn't interested at all. I feel like she's refusing to sleep with me, but she slept with another guy. I admit that I don't believe she is cheating now, but it still hurts believing that she did cheat. Am I the asshole for not believing her and wanting a divorce? What should I do? I still love her and I adore our kids, and I don't want to hurt them by leaving. Thanks in advance.
He's not the asshole. I mean, this isn't as crazy as a story as we're used to.
No, this one's pretty tame considering what we're used to.
But
the toilet seat defense.
That's a lie. So she's lied on top of cheating. I'm sorry, but no, she didn't get it from a toilet seat. Yes, it is possible on a very small chance.
Honestly,
but
yes, a microscopic chance. Because when I go to the bathroom, I'm going to overshare. When I go to the bathroom, my no-no bits are not touching the toilet seat. They are in the hole above the water so as not to piss everywhere.
And I honestly feel, and I haven't looked this up, so don't quote me, but I feel like something like crabs would be more likely to be transferred on a toilet seat because they could get left behind. You have to have so much bacteria or germs for an STI.
Well, and I mean, honestly, a disgusting toilet, I know you know as well as I do. Every woman knows how to hover.
When we don't sit on those toilets.
We don't sit on those toilets. You either get the disposable covers or you layer it in toilet paper or you hover and risk the dribble. But you do not put your bare skin on a nasty toilet.
I'm not above using urinal if it's cleaner. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit more flexibility, but it can be done.
It can.
Not by me. I'm not that flexible.
And there can be lots of reasons that people don't have sex or whatever.
6 months?
Well, think about it. Depression or other things.
Yeah.
There are other reasons. But one, it's highly likely she cheated. Two, she lied about it.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are both entirely too forgiving. We get it. Shit happens, you know. You got absolutely blacked out drunk at a party. You have no idea what happened. You have no memory of the night, but your buddies come back to you the next day with pictures of you hanging all over some chick. It's not a good excuse. It's not a validation. But being completely blacked out and obliterated, things happen.
I don't black out when I drink. I wish I did.
You
but
are
I don't.
amongst the blessed few.
No. Oh, no.
I've been blacked out. And my buddies come to me the next day with the receipts. And I'm like, oh, good golly, Miss Molly, please delete all of that and tell no one. But
things happen, but I feel like.
But the toilet seat at work. No. I am absolutely hung up on the toilet seat. I mean.
And at work. Does she work at a strip club?
Even then.
You'd have to work at a high traffic, somewhat dirty place.
Even in the skeeziest strip clubs I have ever been in, the toilets are clean. Those girls,
it's important to them. Like,
there is etiquette amongst strippers in most places. You don't, if you're, the ones that are fully nude, watch them. When they're fully nude, they don't climb the poles. They don't do all those tricks.
Because they know how to keep it clean.
Because nobody wants to put anything of theirs anywhere where your nasty coochie lips done been. There is etiquette even in the dumpiest, diviest strip clubs I've ever been in.
He is not the asshole.
Have you ever seen a stripper give a full motion toilet paper in hand demonstration on proper wiping technique?
I've never been to a strip club.
We have got to fix that because I swear that was absolutely the most horrifyingly brilliant, hilarious thing I have ever witnessed. The mental image I get from anybody that uses the "I got it from the toilet seat" excuse, the mental image I have is of this chick
riding the feet,
somehow straddling the entirety of the toilet and rubbing circles.
Trying to collect something.
And it's like, why? No, you back up, you sit, you clean up, you leave. The rest, no. The toilet seat defense has been completely debunked so many hundreds of times. Do better, honey. If you're going to lie, do better.
And even, like, if we go to dirty toilets, if we have to sit, we know how to put toilet paper around the seat.
I have been, I was married to a truck driver. I have been to some nasty truck stops. I have seen some nasty porta potties, and it was the only option. I'm from the woods, honey. I will go around behind a tree and pop a squat and wipe with a leaf before I do that.
Drip dry.
No. Well, do you make sure you know what plants you're looking at? Poison ivy is real.
Well, I don't get it, but still, I don't want to put it down there.
No. But no. She absolutely cheated, and you are absolutely not the asshole. And as far as you loving your kids, I understand you love those kids, but they are a package deal with her. You can still... I know that, I've taken care of kids that don't belong to me, and as the time went on and they got older, they have reached back out and made contact with me, and I still love them to death to this day. And so you can still have those relationships with those kids. It may just take a while. But no, absolutely not the asshole for doing that. No,
he's perfectly justified in leaving.
Absolutely justified in leaving because, well, like we said last episode, cheating's a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's a deal breaker. For some damn reason, it didn't used to be, but now it is.
Live and learn.
Live, learn. Live, learn, love, and whoop ass when you have to. Don't condone violence. I'm trying, people. I'm trying to be a good person. I don't know how well I'm doing today.
You're doing wonderful.
Moving along to the next story. Again, from AITH.
We might have a favorite.
Yeah, we obviously have a favorite. It says, am I the asshole for being mad at my husband for saying he would pick his deceased wife over me?
Okay. I don't even think context is important, but please go on.
Context is important. It's always important. My 34 female husband, 37 male, was married once before me. She was his high school sweetheart. They started dating the junior year, survived long distance during college, and got married when they were both 23, very shortly after graduating college. She passed away unexpectedly at age 26 from an aneurysm, and it obviously devastated him, especially because they were extremely young. They never had children. He contemplated remarrying because he was so heartbroken, but we ended up meeting about 4 years after that. We got married when I was 31 and he was 34, and we have 2 children. Last night, we were at a friend's potluck gathering. Everything was going well until one of our friends brought up a new topic that had to do with relationships. She's newly divorced, so it was about her divorce. Others were chiming in with past relationships from high school, college, etc. I had said I never thought I would get married because my luck with men has always been terrible until I met my husband, and I said I felt very lucky to have met him. After a little while longer, my husband brings up his deceased wife. Everyone knows he was married before me and that she had passed. He was talking about her and then drops a bomb and goes, if she walked through that front door right now, I'd pick up where we left off. If I'm being honest, I felt like someone put my heart in a blender and punched me in the gut as hard as they could. Everyone in the room could sense the awkwardness that followed. To avoid making a scene, I just laughed it off, even though it was still obvious that it hurt me. I just felt that if you still felt that way, then why are we married? I've never asked him to get over his wife. I've never had a deceased spouse or even a deceased partner, so I'm unsure how that feels, but I would never say that in front of my new spouse. After the gathering, we left, and I did not speak to him the entire car ride home, or barely the entire night. I did tell him that what he said hurt my feelings deeply and that we could talk in the morning once I've calmed down because I didn't want to say something mean to him. I ended up sleeping on the couch because he would not leave me alone. It's now the next morning and I barely slept. He's still sleeping and I'm not sure what to say or what he will say. Am I the asshole?
No. That shouldn't have come up.
That should never have come up at all, let alone at a gathering of friends in front of everyone.
He brought it up. Like, I thought it was going to be a thing that she asked him, and then I was going to say yes.
Well, I mean, everyone was discussing their relationships and the such.
That should not have been brought up.
I mean, it's fine to talk about your deceased partner. She did exist. She was there. You had that experience to, and this newly divorced woman is asking for these advices and tidbits and about everyone's relationships. But he should have stopped before dropping that. Because the woman that you loved enough now to marry is standing right there.
It shouldn't have been said. There's no reason it should have been said at all.
Going into the comments, it says, oof, that would gut anyone. He should have kept that thought unspoken forever. 19,000 upvotes.
Mm-hmm.
The next comment, Just reading this felt like a gut punch. Poor OP, and in front of people, too. Next comment. Exactly. What he said wasn't just thoughtless. It was downright disrespectful to her marriage. Grief for his late wife doesn't excuse making a public statement that invalidates her relationship.
Exactly.
Let's see, that one had 6,000 upvotes. And the next comment, it was downright cruel. If he wasn't ready to move on, he had zero business getting remarried, let alone bringing children into the world with anyone else.
He owes her an enormous apology.
Oh
And to
my
be
God.
honest, it won't ever be the same after that. That's always going to be in the back of her head now. It's never
Even,
going to be forgotten.
well, I mean, some thoughts, yes, he said it and he probably, unfortunately, meant it, but there is zero risk of her ever coming back. She is unfortunately gone from this world.
So you do not disrespect your current wife,
No,
mother of your children, that way.
No.
And in front of people, it's humiliating on top of it.
I applaud her for not crying. I think I would have just immediately had tears running down my face after that.
Mm-hmm.
Another person replies and says, I think not crying was unfortunate. It might have helped him see what he had done. Hopefully counseling can help him realize what he just did, and help him fix himself and learn about things we feel versus what we say to our spouses.
I kind of wonder, were they drinking? Because we all know people say a little bit more when they're drinking.
It was a potluck.
So, but it should not have been said.
So this person says, he loves her, but less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that hurts.
And she's never going to forget it.
No. Comparison is the thief of joy, and this is just an absolutely cruel thief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's brutal. You deserve to be someone's first choice, and after that, it will take a lot to feel like anything but the consolation prize.
It will. She's not going to forget it.
No
matter how hard she tries, it's going to always be there.
Yeah, that is absolutely brutal. I mean, we've talked before about, there is no competition with a dead woman. You cannot be in competition with someone who's passed on.
But he made it that way. He made it a competition. Even though it's not possible to happen.
He made her feel like second place.
Yes.
Even though there is
no second place.
Yeah. This story does have an update. And I have it. Update. This may be a long one. I also tried to reply to as many comments as I could, but they were flooding in and I got a bit overwhelmed. May still try to read and reply to them. Many brought me to joyous and grateful tears. Also, alcohol was not involved in the sense that he wasn't drunk. My husband is 6'3" and almost 250 pounds. He had eaten quite a bit and had one beer. He was practically sober.
He was sober.
Anyway, we talked. I asked him to let me go first and to not interrupt. He doesn't usually interrupt anyway. This isn't verbatim, just a rough sketch of how things went. I also included points some of you made, without mentioning I posted this, of course. Me. I just want to say that I do not hate you for what you said. I understand where you're coming from. She died, and it was something neither of you saw coming. I can never ask you to get over her or forget her, because I know how much you loved her. She was your first love. I do understand that if she hadn't passed, we likely would not be together, and you two likely would be. I have understood this. But to say what you said hurt my feelings and embarrassed me. And even though her coming back from the dead is impossible, if it were, you would leave me and the children? It was probably one of the worst things anyone has ever said to me. It is clear your feelings about her are still raw and it still hurts, and I want you to go get counseling, and I want couples counseling very, very soon. He then apologized profusely, teared up, and said how he did not mean to hurt me or embarrass me in front of our friends. He basically said that he thought about it before he went to sleep and came to the realization that he should have kept it to himself. I mean, I can't be angry for what he thinks. He loved her and she died. His feelings are also valid here. Also said that he would never leave me and the children, and that what he said was just a poorly thought out and poorly worded statement. That he was not thinking clearly when he said it. He immediately felt that maybe it came out wrong. I asked him how he would feel if I said that to him. He says, yeah, it's bad. I know. I shouldn't have said it. I wouldn't be happy. I know you're not happy. I should have apologized in front of everyone as soon as I said it or not said it at all. I then asked him to think of the children and said, it's like you saying, hey, insert kids' names here. If my dead wife walked through the door, I'm packing my bags and I'm never speaking to you guys again. And then it got really uncomfy.
I'm really liking the communication here, though.
Very much so. After some silence, I had no idea what to say after that. He asked me if I wanted a divorce, so I asked him why he would think I would want a divorce, just to see what he would say. He says he doesn't know. I didn't answer his question and said we needed to look into counseling, that he needed to get counseling for himself, and that we would go to couples counseling. And if the answer is no, I'm not interested in moving forward. This isn't 100% about the comment anymore. I need to know that if he's willing to make the necessary changes and put in the work to fix what he's messed up. Because if he were to dismiss my feelings or not want counseling, it means he doesn't think that this was that serious and he may not take me seriously. I also said this to him. Some of the comments also told me to take the kids elsewhere. I agreed with this because it would be difficult to get through this while also parenting. I've got a very young daughter and a son that is a toddler. They're currently with my parents for the weekend, and I'll be getting them Sunday night. So that gives us time to really work. He suggested he sleep on the couch instead of me, as I have nowhere else to go. I haven't told my parents because I really would like to keep this between me and him as much as possible. Family and friends jump to judge too fast sometimes and offer extreme and harmful advice, and it's also embarrassing. Luckily, we both have a very good insurance that will help with our counseling. I told him that it seems like whatever counseling he got after her death was not enough and that he was not consistent with it like he should have been. With trauma like that, I personally would have been in counseling for years before I even considered remarrying. He agreed. He was only in it for about a year and then stopped once he moved away from his hometown, never got back into it. He also agreed to the individual and couples counseling, kept apologizing, kept telling me he loved me all day. It was also so difficult to be around him because he kept looking at me. I couldn't think. It was like he would try to say something and then he would just stare and not say anything. With the kids gone, there's nothing really to do except talk. So we talked again right before dinner time. He asked me if I wanted him to cook or buy something. I was still not hungry, to be honest, so I told him he could just pick something up for himself and that I wasn't hungry, and that prompted the second discussion. I realized he must feel very bad because he noticed I hadn't eaten much all day, kept asking me to eat. I wasn't sulking too bad or anything, just doing my usual tasks, but not speaking or eating as much. And because we're home together all day, he noticed this. He asked me one more time to please eat dinner with him, so I agreed. During dinner, he told me that he looked for counselors himself and wanted me to see if I thought they were okay enough and that he would keep looking. Last stretch. This is a long update.
Yeah.
But it's going in the right direction.
It is. I'm loving
This
that
is a much
part.
better update than last episode. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm still traumatized.
I warned you. You should listen.
After all of that, I told him that we can't really predict anything until we've met the therapist. I don't want him to keep saying sorry. I want work and change, and then maybe we can move forward, but this is the first step. I don't want to just leave him. I'm also not saying divorce is off the table. I think he's still hurting from her death and his judgment is very, very clouded. If he didn't love me, I doubt he would have apologized so many times and looked for counselors on his own. A man that doesn't love me probably would have made me look or rejected going altogether. Many people were suggesting this. I do not think he doesn't love me. Thought of this myself. Cried about it. Thought of my children. Cried some more. I'm not staying for the kids. I'm staying because I want to at least try to fix this. If it cannot be fixed, then at least I tried. We were also very close. Some people were asking how close we were prior to marriage, I guess as a way to gauge the difference between their relationship and our relationship. Maybe to see if he settled. He was always very romantic, caring, and sweet to me. We've never yelled at each other. When we first started dating, he would plan dates, surprise me, brag about me to his friends. So that's why I'm very confused on why he would blurt that out, unless it was just very poor brain and mouth coordination.
I think it was. He's reacting in a good way.
I also told him that I may get a counselor for myself. I don't think I need one. Someone suggested this, but I think he needs it more than I do. And And because insurance companies are getting shittier by the year, 3 counseling bills may be pushing it. I don't know. If I do get one, it's because I don't want to potentially resent him or doubt myself. Some people were making attempts to make me doubt myself. Some people in the comments were very nasty to me. I appreciate Reddit hiding comments with many downvotes, as they may be mean, but I couldn't help but click. Some of you are very mean and very nasty individuals, and I hope you find the happiness one day. There could be another update in the future, not opposed to making one. Thank you all for your kind words and support. I've also responded to everyone that texted me, which was everyone there at the potluck that has my number. 3 people. There were 9 people there, not including us. They've all basically said the same thing. They can't believe he said that. They feel bad for me and asking if everything is okay, what he said was not okay, etc. He showed me some of the texts with him and his friends, and some made me cry with how kind they were being towards me, basically telling him he wasn't necessarily wrong for thinking that, but wrong for saying it. I told him I loved him as well, and I've never not loved him for 1 second, and that I wasn't angry with him, and I didn't want him to suffer for what he said, but I was just hurt and needed him to know that it did hurt me and him to respond how he saw fit, and we'd go from there. That's all for now. I could possibly answer more questions here if you have any. I tried to answer some of the more frequently asked ones I saw. Again, sorry for this being so lengthy. Have a nice weekend, everyone, and thank you again.
I think they do have a chance. A big one. Because, and I'd honestly think, we all know, sometimes we think something and we just automatically say it. We don't filter it.
It's gumball mouth.
He completely validated her feelings. He was calm. He apologized sincerely. He said, I should not have said that, and I am so sorry. He was trying to kind of make things better. He reacted the best way possible in that situation.
He knew he fucked up.
Yeah, he did. And he's not being...
And he knew it the second he said it.
Yeah.
He's like, I knew when I said it, it came out wrong. It's like, you should have apologized on the spot.
You should, but it kind of a shock for everybody, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
So they're both communicating so well, and I'm so proud of them for that, because that's so rare these days. And
it really is.
The therapy one, yes, he should on his own. They should do couples, and she should on her own. Because otherwise she's going to have resentment. And honestly, insurance will cover that. That's one of the things they usually do. But yeah, I think it's a good outcome.
Yeah, I think, for where she left it, it's going in the right direction toward being okay. Mm-hmm. People say stupid things sometimes, and they don't necessarily mean it the way that it comes across. But, oh my God, gumball mouth is alive and well in the world.
But the fact that he actually felt bad about it, it's a good thing. I don't think it could have had a better outcome. I think if he's willing to do the therapy, if he's willing to do the communication like they are, that's a huge green flag.
I have another one. Again, AITAH.
Imagine that.
This one, I'm thinking that it's going to make you just as mad as it made me.
Oh, no. I don't like to be mad.
Well, again, this is one of those where I think we've both been here. I think we have. It's not as horrible as you're thinking.
Okay.
But it's going to more than mildly aggravate you.
Fire under me? Okay, got it.
I need that on a t-shirt. More than mildly aggravated.
Make those t-shirts. I'm down for that.
This one says, am I the asshole for refusing to forgive my boyfriend after he used my emergency savings without asking?
Excuse me?
There it is.
Go ahead. Continue.
No, you're not the asshole at all.
There's absolutely no scenario that would be okay.
My mommy taught me that that's stealing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not yours. Don't touch it.
Even if it was an extreme emergency, he could have asked her. He could have talked to her. Go ahead. Sorry. To context. Go ahead.
I don't care if your leg just fell off. You don't take money from somebody else to pay to have it sewed back on without their permission.
Exactly.
To the story. I, 20 female, have a small emergency fund I've been saving for months. It's about $2,000. And I keep it in a separate account for, emergencies. My boyfriend, Jake, 23 male. Why are all the assholes on here named Jake?
I don't know.
My boyfriend, Jake, 23 male, has been struggling since he lost his job, and I've been helping him as much as I can, groceries, gas money, stuff like that. Last week, his car broke down and the repair bill was $1,500. He was super stressed, but I told him I couldn't help and suggested he ask family or work out a payment plan. I thought that was the end of it until I saw my savings account was missing $1,500.
Oh,
I found out Jake transferred the money to himself using my laptop while I was asleep. When I confronted him, he said he did it because we're a team and I wasn't using the money anyway. He promised to pay me back once he got a job, but I told him that wasn't the point. It was my money and he had no right to take it without asking. He called me selfish and said I wasn't supporting him when he needed me the most. Now he's upset and I'm demanding the money back, and the few of our mutual friends are saying I'm being too harsh. I don't think I'm wrong, but am I the asshole?
the whole point is that he didn't ask her and get her permission.
The whole point is he stole $1,500 of her $2,000.
And he's acting like it's not a big deal.
I mean, it's not like he skimmed $20. She told him no. He waited for her to go to sleep, got onto her laptop, which is also private property, got into her bank account, and transferred money that he was told he could not have. That is stealing.
She told him she couldn't.
And she only had $2,000. It's not like he took $20-$30 off the top. He took 3/4 of what she had in savings for emergencies.
Like, no, there's nothing okay with that.
Nothing at all. No, OP, you are not the asshole, and your boyfriend is a thief. Do away with him.
And if you think about it, is this not how some of the terrible things start?
Yeah.
It's going to get so much worse if she stays with him.
It's like, but we're a team. No, homeboy, that was not a team decision. That was she told me no, so I'm going to do it anyway. Like you tell a toddler they can't have the last cookie, so they sneak into the kitchen and steal the last cookie.
That was not a team
No, there's nothing.
action. That was no.
Everyone says there is no I in team. Guess what? There is one. It's in the a-hole.
No, there's nothing okay with this. Nothing.
More than mildly aggravated. I mean, I wish I could get $2,000 in savings in a couple of months.
Right?
Boy, you better go drag your ass down to the Mickey D's and start depositing your paychecks because, oh my God.
All of it until she gets that back up.
I cannot deal with a thief. No.
Can't trust him.
To the comments, it says, not the asshole. He stole from you while you were asleep. There's no justifying that. It's your emergency fund and he had no right to touch it. Calling it teamwork is just manipulation. You've already helped him enough, and you're not selfish for standing up for yourself. This is a huge red flag.
Mm-hmm. It's going to lead to so much more. If he thinks that is teamwork, what else is he going to do without her permission?
In the name of teamwork.
And eventually it's going to hurt her, and it could be in a very bad way.
The next comment says, I had to sleep with my cash in a pillow because my ex would steal from me. And when I called him out, he had the same argument. It's just sitting there. He too was jobless, sitting up in my home where I paid the bills and being a general asshole. Call the bank and have them reverse it, or tell him you're calling the cops for stealing, and get this mooch out of your life.
It's just sitting there. Well, so are you.
Right? Say, what was he doing out and about for his fucking car to break down with his no job having ass? You can't afford to be running out gas money unless you're out there putting in job applications, and most of them are online now. Even McDonald's takes applications online now.
95% of applications are all online.
The unmitigated gall of being out there burning up gas money with gas being $3 plus a gallon when you ain't putting in on nothing. No,
that was manipulation, and telling her she's selfish is gaslighting.
I'm getting high off the fumes. The next comment reads, seriously, it's the same entitled nonsense. The whole it's just sitting there excuse is pathetic. OP needs to call the bank, get her money back, and show this thief the door. No one deserves to put up with a guy like that. It's not a red flag. It's theft.
It is.
And actually, depending on where you're at, it might be enough money to be felony level theft.
Yep. It could be.
Another comment reads, "You need to call the police and kick him out. You'll probably never see the money again. He's a deadbeat. There is always a way to make money. Not with somebody like that around."
They're just gonna mooch, mooch, mooch.
I had to juggle. I would like to see Bobo the clown out juggle me on paying bills 2 years ago. But ever since the stealing, mooching ex is gone, my bills are paid. I can afford real groceries.
Right?
I like real groceries. It's amazing. The amount of money I was making did not balance with why we couldn't pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it did come to light that there were certain extracurricular activities that are apparently quite expensive, is where my money was going. I never gave my permission for my money to go to something like that.
Right.
No, absolutely not. Let's see. Another comment. "Not the asshole. This is theft and a giant red flag. If he's this comfortable doing it, it won't be the last time. I'd leave him and somehow file a police report for my money." OP responds, I'm going to leave as this is very toxic and at the time didn't see it for what it is. You go, girl. Get the hell up out of there
Good
because
job.
he will not change.
Mm-mm.
He will not change. He absolutely will not change.
He didn't even have remorse for it.
No, he's not sorry. He might be sorry that he got caught. And that's even more aggravating. At least have the fucking decency to be sorry for what you did. I mean, seriously. There's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse to be a thief. And again, that's just one of those things. Full stop. I have no patience or tolerance for a thief. We work too hard for what we have. We work entirely too hard for what we have. For somebody to just walk in here and be like,
I'm entitled to your money.
I like that. That looks really nice. It must be nice to have that. Gimme.
And see, there's nothing wrong with helping people, boyfriends, whatever.
No.
There is nothing wrong with it. And everybody goes through hard times. I get not having a job for a while.
Mhm.
Whatever. But the fact that he felt entitled to that as teamwork and then trying to use the teamwork and the yourself, no. There
is an I in team. It's in the a-hole. Another t-shirt that needs made. I need to get to work on so much. Yes. Some of the stuff we have come up with.
Mm-hmm.
More than mildly aggravated. That's going to be my new catchphrase. Well, that and the one I've been running around singing at work. I'm under-caffeinated and I'm over-aggravated.
Yes, please make it hurt.
Sometimes I would pay money for the security footage at my job because I'm in there by myself. So I drink a lot of coffee.
Coffee's good. I love coffee.
Coffee's amazing, except when you're sitting in your office twiddling your thumbs because it's holy fuck balls cold outside. No one's coming in. We're not running a truck because you can't run the trucks when it's that cold. No. The airlines freeze going down the road. So you can't do that. So I'm sitting here like, I am beyond insanely bored. I am absolutely jacked up on straight black coffee. Dee. Like Hubert around the office. Bang, 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 bang.
I'm surprised you haven't cleaned that office top to bottom.
No, you know what? That's not even funny. That's not even funny. No, my boss called me. He called me Thursday because we just ran the first truck again Friday. It was an all-week thing. It was going insane. He called me Thursday and he goes, well, I bet that office is spotless by now. And I'm like, I need ice melt.
You got called out.
He knew I didn't run that broom. That's why he said it. And my dad's sitting in the corner just giggling. I'm like, you be quiet over there. That's just...
I would have lost it. That's hilarious.
He knew. He goes, well, I figured you'd have the floor swept, everything dusted. I'm like, yeah, huh? That's what you get.
Washed?
That's what you get for figuring, ain't it?
Oh my God.
That place manufactures dirt. By the time you sweep the office, by the time you get from one side of that mini barn to the other, it's dirty over here again. And it is an exercise in extreme frustration.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. There's no way you can get all the dirt out of there, ever.
No. So yeah, there is multiple security footage clips of me bouncing around the office, singing about being over-caffeinated and undercompensated. And boss man, if you listen to this, I love you, and I do make plenty. You're an amazing boss, and I make plenty of money. It just rhymed. So, it just rhymed. I need my job.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, moving along. This one actually comes from the subreddit Pro Revenge.
Okay.
I thought we'd end on a funnier note.
Okay.
Because this one has nothing to do with relationships, but it's just funny. We need a little sprinkle of the funny amongst the heavy sometimes. Speaking of which, I have one saved that I'm going to read on a TikTok.
Okay.
So I'm going to read. So what we're going to do is we're going to read some of them on TikTok, and then those won't be on the show. Those will just be on our TikTok. I got to get us one set up. I'm working on our socials. I really am. But I'm very scatterbrained, and it takes me a minute. We don't have a whole production team. It's just me and Katie over here. We be riding the struggle bus some days.
Some days?
Bitch, I'm driving. Okay, so I saved this one for last because we can all relate to this. If you're old enough to have ever had a job where you have to work with people, including your coworkers, this should resonate with you a little bit.
Let's hear it.
Okay, from the subreddit Pro Revenge, lunch thieves just desserts.
Ooh.
Don't touch my food.
Right? Especially yours, you get stabbed.
I mean, it's a reflex. I mean, if you reach for my french fries, you get to fork. It is what it is.
Choose violence. It's fine.
Another t-shirt right there. Fork you. Years ago, I had a lunch thief. About the 12th time complaining to HR about people stealing my lunch, mandatory reporting every third or fourth instance, I was seething. Not a damn thing was being done, and I still had to go buy something to eat. I was bitching to my doctor at the yearly checkup, and he got a smile saying, "You're constipated then?" I was dumb and said, "No, why?" He wrote me a prescription for some holy fuck laxative with instructions to mix it in with your meal for maximum effect, at which point I knew the plan. He understood the assignment.
Good job, doctor.
He's got one of them cool doctors. It's like, oh, so you're constipated then. Wink, wink. I wish I could say they shat their pants, but no. They ate my sandwich with special avocado sauce. About an hour after lunch, I went to HR and reported 2 things. 1, my lunch was stolen again. And 2, my medication was stolen. HR, so you got hit by the lunch thief again and your medicine was in the bag? Me, yes. I've had some digestive problems and my doctor prescribed me a powerful laxative and advised me to mix it in with my midday meal. HR going white. You what? Me smiling. I mixed in a prescription-grade laxative with my food per the doctor's orders. Well, being that stealing prescribed medication is a criminal offense, the police were called and found the lead man from the department over absolutely shitting his brains out. He was furious and accused me of poisoning his food. I asked, "At which point did you get the idea that food was for you?" Continued, "Furthermore, now I no longer have my medication I was prescribed for my condition." It was about this time he knew he fucked up and shut his mouth until he got a lawyer, or so I'm told. Small town. One of my buddies from high school took his position at the office. I can make and eat my hoagies, and I have no clue where lunch thief went after his fines and community service.
I love it. Karma.
That has got to be when we were talking about baby doctors a couple episodes ago. Some doctors, them old fogies that have been there, seen that, they're like that insurance commercial. We know some things because we've seen some things.
Right.
Chef's kiss. Mwah. We love you, doc. That was hell yes.
That was awesome. I love that.
To the comments. This is absolutely the textbook version of the linear relationship between fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
yes,
shit.
it is.
Say, what are you in for? Stealing lunches at work.
And how'd they catch you?
I'm only here for murder. What kind of monster are you?
My gosh.
Oh, the comments are absolute gold. Hi, guys. Oh, are we doing the thing where we tell what we're in for? Great. Well, my name is Joe, and I murdered that bastard that kept stealing my lunch at work. What's this new guy in for?
And he gets so quiet. He doesn't speak English.
Someone comes on and says stealing insulin could kill someone, which is true, but most people don't put their insulin in their food.
No, it doesn't metabolize that way.
That works. Your doctor is the GOAT. Life hack to avoid accusations of poisoning. Yeah, he's a petty old bastard.
Love that doctor. I want that doctor.
OP's the one that said he was a petty old bastard.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you know what? Those are the best doctors. Most doctors I cannot stand, but them old, no nonsense. Yeah, the
real ones. The real ones.
There's a lot of doctors these days who are so much more worried about bedside manner than giving you the information you need. Yes, you shouldn't be a complete dick about it, but give it to them straight.
Yeah. That and actually give them the information. Most of them are just doing the bare minimum of their job, getting out.
Yeah, they just completely pussyfoot around it. It's like, well, honey, you see, and it's like, dude, your little toe fell off. Those are the ones you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you can't feel your toe because it's not there, home slice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the doctor I want.
I'm like, oh, okay.
The one that says, it hurts when I do this. Okay, don't do that. I grew up with my dad telling me that. Say, Dad, it hurts when I do this. Don't do it then.
Right?
Okay. I find myself giving his advice to my kids now, and I'm like, oh my God.
I do.
I grew up and turned into my father, which isn't a bad thing. My dad's awesome.
Your dad is awesome.
I turned
bad. Not a terrible thing.
It's not a terrible thing. It's just wild. Because usually the son grows up to be as the father. Hell no, I'm dudeish. Yes, I've been using dudeish since episode 1. I am dudeish.
I've been using dude and dudette and dudeish all the time.
Oh my goodness. Oh, somebody in the comment has their own little story to add.
Oh boy, let's hear it.
Says, back in my Army days, the first sergeant told me to see him after formation, which is never good. 2 soldiers in my platoon who did not work for me had the habit of going on sick call every Monday and getting quarters, which meant they stayed in the barracks all day sleeping. I immediately came to the same conclusion, that these 2 had been drinking all weekend and wanted a day off. I knew the PA who ran sick call, so we had a chat. He pulled the records and told me he would take care of it. Next Monday, he pulls them in, tells them they're dehydrated, and then has them on saline IV for 4 hours. Their health miraculously improved after that.
I bet.
So, yes, don't touch somebody's food.
No.
Just don't touch the food. It's not
be mad when you get sick from it.
You know what?
You don't know what they put in their food anyway. Why would you be taking their food?
You know what? If you have got the big dick walk enough to steal somebody's lunch, like, I understand, okay, you haven't eaten in 3 days, and there's a sandwich there, and it's screaming your name.
Mm-hmm.
Replace the sandwich the following day. Because still not cool. But if you are repeatedly stealing someone's lunch, at some point you can expect that they're going to find out it was you. They're going to find out how to get you without getting in trouble, or they're going to find out how to get you and they give no fucks if they get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not going to end well.
No.
Don't be a thief.
This one I absolutely loved.
Do not be a lunch thief. Do not be a lunch thief, ladies and gentlemen. It is bad for your health.
It is.
He just lost the Oregon Trail, died of dysentery.
Aw, poor thing.
That's how I always lost the Oregon Trail. It's devastating
Or
to this
infection.
day. I never beat that game.
Me either. I don't think anybody did.
Okay, tell me in the comments if you have ever beat the Oregon Trail. Did anybody actually make it to Oregon? Because every single time, it didn't matter what I tried, my people died of dysentery.
I'm convinced it didn't exist in the game.
You know what? You could be onto something. So that's what I want to hear from everybody. Have you ever beat the Oregon Trail? I need to know.
That's important information.
That's
I've never heard of
critical.
anybody beating it.
My grandma beat Tetris.
That's impressive. I didn't know you could.
I did not know it had an ending animation, but I saw it. It's a little rocket. It goes up.
Cool.
Fireworks. And then it starts over. I mean, it was Super Nintendo. Come on.
Yeah, true.
But that's all I've got for today, the 6th episode of AK Unhampered.
Yeah.
We're starting to chug right along.
Yep.
The crazy train's still rolling.
We're getting there.
So we are working on getting video added to this. We're having some technical difficulties, and we will beat this learning curve. It might just take us a minute. We do have Instagram, AK Unhampered at Instagram, and then
Spotify.
we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Again, it's just a still image. We are working on adding video. Please be patient with us. If you want to send us a story, we have our email up and going, akunhamperedpod@gmail.com. And we are going to start possibly telling some stories on TikTok Live, just here and there, just
Try it out.
a little bit of extra, little something that we don't have here on the show. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.